Do you ever wish that you could actually be told where art clients actually hang out? Do you wish that you knew how to actually attract them? So in this video collection, you're gonna learn where art clients actually are, where they're not, and where you don't wanna go so that you don't get cheapos anymore. Aren't you sick of that? And this will all start with my general commissions guide so that you know what's actually up for this year, because things are different. As you're starting from scratch, you should just pick one genre and kill it. This is my ultimate advice for you, and this is the major rookie mistake that most artists make when they're just starting out with commissions, because what they want to do is present themselves as a jack of all trades. So for example, they're going to say, well, I can do pet portraits, I can do human portraits, I can do fantasy, I can do medieval, I can do landscapes. So this is a terrible idea because it's confusing. And from a client's perspective too, they don't know exactly what you can do because typically you don't have a lot of examples of everything. Just pick one particular topic, kill it, and then once you have an established client base and you have work of that particular genre, then you can expand. That being said though, you're never going to get clients interested in your artwork unless you have this. Your portfolio is your body of work that's going to instill confidence into your client. So you need relevant examples of whatever you are going to apply for. So for example, if you want to start to do landscape artwork or you want to start to do environment artwork, you need to show environment artwork. And this is also a really huge rookie mistake, is that I see people applying for environment concept art jobs, and what are they putting up? Here's my furry artwork, here's my character artwork, here's my portrait, oh, here's my pet portrait over here. None of this matters. When you're making your portfolio, you should just do a whole bunch of them. Just look them up. You can do your own if you have characters, or, and here's the method I use that I've never heard anybody talk about before, but it's been extremely effective for me at multiple points in my career freelancing, is this. Take requests. You can use requests to bolster your portfolio, especially if you want to gear it towards a genre that you've not had a lot of experience with, but you want to break into. Then once you have your portfolio ready to submit to clients, then a lot of people are still following this bad advice. A lot of people are still making commission sheets. This is a bad practice, and it's horribly prevalent. And let me tell you why I don't agree with this practice and why you shouldn't either. Most importantly is that it basically reduces the art making process down to a McDonald's drive-thru. This is a really impersonal process. The major issue with this too is that most clients are only going to look at the price first and then your artwork, and not the other way around like you hope it will be. Commission sheets, not a good idea, shouldn't be happening anymore. And then as far as where you should be looking for that, here's my advice for you. The analogy I want to use here is that you should not go fishing, you should just go to the fish market. And I say this because way too many artists are advised just kind of put out a line and just hold it there, hold it steady, and just be patient and wait for that perfect client to come. The issue here is that way too many artists give up on trying to get art commissions, and maybe this is you too, you've had this experience and you've not gotten any bites. This overall method of trying to attract your perfect client, that's for established artists, not for people starting from scratch. So here are my recommendations for you to go to that are definitely going to get you clients. So my first one is going to be the DeviantArt job offers form. So here, clients put up their projects and it's very easy for you to figure out if you want it or not. The second one I want to recommend to you is Reddit. Specifically on Reddit, what you want to do is you want to look for subreddits that have to do with the genre of artwork that people want to hire you for. So for me personally, I do a lot of Dungeons & Dragons character artwork, so I'm in a lot of those subreddits and I can advertise there, and I've been able to get a pretty steady flow of clientele from there as well. The last one, and this is a mega piece of advice for you, it's actually something I tried recently. What I recommend to you is go to specific websites where those types of clients hang out. So for me, I actually went to the Dungeons & Dragons official forums, and I got permission from one of the moderators to put up a post asking people if they would like me to make their artwork for a fee, of course. These are all really good strategies for you. These are good places to go, and there's other places that exist there too, depending on what your genre, what your topic is gonna be. So again, don't try to attract your client. Instead, you want to go to where they are and find them there. Now, one of the most popular places for you to go, especially if you're just starting out, is definitely DeviantArt, and that might surprise you. But here, check this out, learn how and learn why. What you want to do is from your profile page on DeviantArt, what you want to do is you want to hit the three little tabs up in the top right. It's kind of near your avatar profile picture. And you're gonna click on that and click forum. Now I'm gonna tell you right now that where you access the forums from has changed over the last like 3 years. They keep on moving this thing around, but this is generally how you're gonna do it. This is then gonna bring you to the overall forums. So what you wanna do is just scroll down until you see the employment opportunities section on the forums. And you're gonna see 2 different sections available to you. So you're gonna see the job offers and job services. The majority of where I find all of my job offers is in the job offers forum. So this is where clients will actually post what they need done. So in understanding the landing page, it's pretty simple, but there's some really key information that you need to know and key information that you need to look for so that you're not wasting your time. So first off, over on the left here, you're gonna see all the different available job offers to you. Everything from, make me a character all the way down to some really weird and creepy stuff. That's up to you, however you want to approach this. Over here next to the title, you're gonna see who created it. And then you're gonna see next to that, the latest reply. Now, also worth noting is all the way over to the right where it says popular threads in the job forums. All right, so now let me give you some best practices here. Because like I said, a lot of people do this wrong. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a pretty big percentage. Like at least 50% of people totally waste their time because they're not looking for the right information and they're applying to jobs that are just stale. So what I do wanna draw your attention to, and the number one thing that you should be looking for if you're gonna be seeking commissioned artwork, is you need to look at the date it was created, where it says started by. So you're gonna see the user who created it and how old this post is, okay? You're gonna see some that say hours, some of them say days, and some of them say weeks. The best piece of advice I can give you is this. If you see a post that is 2 to 3 days old, it's kind of at the end of its lifetime, okay? Think of this as its expiration date. Anything beyond 2 to 3 days, it's probably one of two things. It's either been fulfilled or it's just being completely ignored because that client really wasn't serious about it. So never apply to a post that is more than 2 to 3 days old. You're just wasting your time. Don't do it. Also, just to bring you back to the side over there, where it says popular threads in job forums, you need to just completely ignore this. These are gonna be completely oversaturated jobs that tons of people have applied to. And to be honest with you, do not even bother trying to apply to it. Now, what's best as you're kind of browsing through all these, once you figured out the proper timing on this, is this. If you're able to apply to it, typically within the first 12 hours, you're gonna be really highly considered for that position because you're gonna be amongst the first pool of artists that client has to look at. Now, another really big key thing that I would definitely draw your attention to is, look, go through all of these on the first page, okay? Make sure that you are actually applying for jobs that suit your skill set. So for example, if you're a character artist, look for character artwork. Don't try and apply for like an environment concept artist if you only do character artwork. But definitely only apply to jobs to which you are actually best suited for or that really interest you. So when figuring out when to apply, here's my personal advice for you. The 2 best days out of the entire week to apply for jobs where you see the most uploaded on here are gonna be Fridays and Saturdays. If you go late at night on a Friday or Saturday night, you're gonna find this is typically when the most amount of jobs are posted. So either get on Saturday morning or Sunday morning or Friday, Saturday night, those are the best times. Other than that, I very much encourage you to go ahead and look in the mornings, just overall in the mornings, because most people are gonna put up that post requesting artwork to be made at night. So therefore, if you can get in and you can just do a quick, 20 minutes and just browse through what's recently been posted on there in the mornings, you're probably gonna get noticed first. It's gonna help a lot. So the next step here is to actually check out a post. So if you go ahead and you just click on a post like this one right here, okay, you wanna look for some key important details. So number one is you wanna read through and just make sure that this is exactly what you wanna do and that it best serves your skill set, that you actually have something to show to the client. So definitely read through the description, make sure that it fits you and your interest, something that you're gonna be really excited to produce for them. Next on here, you really need to read through that blurb as well that the client posted because you need to check out what the method of contact is, and there's 3 of them. The most common one is going to be that they want you to just go ahead and make a comment down below. And I'm going to tell you how to do this effectively because, again, a lot of people do it wrong in just a minute. That's number one. Number two is that they're going to want you to DM them, which on DeviantArt is called a note, by the way. And the third method of contact is going to be email. So in my experience, that exact order is the potential for which you will actually get contacted back. Now, the other thing that you want to check out as you're reading through this is that before you make a comment, you want to read through, because sometimes they're going to ask you to put a little keyword in there just to make sure that they know that you actually care enough that you've read through their entire post. So sometimes they'll just say like, hey, make sure that you type watermelon in your response so that I know that you actually read this. This sounds really silly, but it's actually a pretty effective tool because then they know and they can immediately weed through who's really serious, who actually took the time to read all this stuff. So definitely make sure you do too. Now you're ready to go ahead and leave a post on here, okay? So I want to show you how to do this because like I said now, a lot of people, like so many people do this wrong. So on this offer right here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I'm going to click into this white field here so I can leave a comment. So I have a script for pretty much every single type of situation that I would like to apply for. And what I do is I just tailor each of these, and you need to make sure you do this too, because it's really stupidly obvious to a client when you're just slapping in big generic response. It's really obvious to them and it turns them off because it makes it feel like you don't really care about them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this script right here. I'm going to put it into this post. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tailor it a little bit. So if, for example, if I'm going to apply for somebody that wants a Dungeons and Dragons character drawn, I'm going to make sure that I drop, hey, I love Dungeons and Dragons. It's so cool. I really enjoy making this genre right here. So make sure that you give in your script, if you're new to writing this, you should do the following. You should give, first off, a really light introduction to yourself so they know just a little bit about you. And then number two, you want to talk to them about how enthusiastic you are about their project. And then number three, you want to leave some type of preferred method of contact for you as well. And then I'm going to talk to you about the next steps that you want to also include in your post in just a sec. Now, one thing I always include personally in every single one of my job offer replies is I always tell them, if you're interested, please note me, please DM me. If you have the DeviantArt app and you're out and about, you actually don't get any type of notification on your phone if somebody comments back to you. And that's really annoying. If I get a note, no matter where I am in the world, I know that somebody is interested in paying me money to produce art for them. So I love the note system. It's also private, and it's actually the best way for you to communicate with the client. So definitely make sure that you're not asking them to comment back to you or anything like that. They should be DMing you in order to discuss your potential business arrangements. You also, on your post, like I'm doing right here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to insert some pictures, okay? A lot of people don't do this, and a lot of people do. And I'm going to tell you this, if you don't insert your pictures into your job offer form reply, you're probably not even gonna get looked at, because any single time that you send a link to somebody and you see a post that has multiple links like that, they're absolutely not gonna click on them. Clients want to be able to scroll through 20 to 100 different replies and just look at everything. They're gonna say, that's my artist. That's the person that I wanna pay to produce my artwork because they can definitely do the best possible job for the price point I'm paying for it. Now on that topic, make sure that all of the examples that you're posting are relevant. So again, if you're applying for character artwork, you should be posting pictures of character artwork. You should not be posting any type of graphic design stuff. You should not be posting any examples of your websites. You should not be posting environments because they don't care about that stuff. They care about their character getting made. Similarly, if you have somebody that wants a spaceship drawn, okay, don't put down your furry artwork. Like, nobody cares about that. In fact, they're probably just gonna judge you pretty hard for that decision. Also, if somebody's looking for like safe for work styled art, don't put down your not safe for work styled art. Again, they specified safe for work because they want that version, not the dirty version. So just make sure that you're being careful with what you're putting down, you're being selected, because again, the more relevance that you bring to them, the more likely it is that you're actually gonna get contacted back for that job. So never, ever, ever do anything for a client that requires you to do something without payment. If they don't want to pay you first, then they're not serious and they're a chump. Definitely don't do that. Also with that, if you are applying for any type of job on here and they want multiple commissions, you absolutely should make a contract for that. So now that you've gone ahead and you click that submit comment button like I just did there, Now, the hard part starts, which is the waiting game, okay? They may contact you within an hour, they may contact you within a few, they may contact you within a day, they may contact you in a week, they may never contact you, and you don't know about that. That's why you should continue to use this guide as an outline for how you should be applying to all of your jobs. Another one of my favorite platforms that definitely allowed me to propel myself and propel my pricing is Reddit. So check out how you do it here and how you don't do it as well. So there's 3 reasons why I want to introduce Reddit to you as a really great, viable source for getting art commissions, and here they are. So the first, number 1 and biggest reason why Reddit is a really great place for you and a viable source for you to get art commissions is that this place has no algorithm whatsoever. It just simply has posts appear in the order in which they are posted. Number 2 is that Reddit has a really huge active user base. Minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, everything is totally changing, and you're gonna get a lot of traction, a lot of potential clients, and a lot of potential jobs that you can apply for on Reddit. So that's a really great reason too. And lastly, what I have personally found is that the clientele that's on Reddit, they're typically willing to pay more than some other websites. So this is a really great place for you to get art commissions that will allow you to get more than a combo meal at Wendy's. So here are my favorite places to go and get commissions, and I think they're gonna be great for you too. Now, before I show you all the subreddits I personally like to use, I'm gonna just give you the disclaimer that I do a lot of fantasy-based artwork, but there's a lot of these channels that you can still use, and you can definitely find your own, whether or not you're into cyberpunk or you're into heavy mechs or you're into environment design. There's a lot of subreddit channels, but here are some of my favorites. The first one is Art Commissions, similarly named Art Commission, Hire an Artist, Hungry Artists, this one's pretty popular. And the last one I want to talk to you about, and I really want to rave about for a moment, is called the Professional Freelance Illustrators. Now, what's really unique and special about this one is that in order for you to even post or respond to any clients, you have to get certified from them. And what that means is that basically you have to prove that you're actually offering competitive wages, meaning that you cannot say, oh, I want to do a $5 portrait for you. That's not acceptable for them. They charge at a base rate $30 an hour for your artwork. So you have to prove to them. And that's really nice because that does bring a lot of legitimacy. So I really do recommend this. Now, let me give you some tips and tricks for how you should be applying to jobs and how you should be advertising yourself. Now, the first segment I want to talk to you about is when you are going to be applying for commissions. And this is typically with the text in the title of any type of post. It's going to say either looking for artists or hiring most often. And let me talk to you about why you might not be getting commissions yet on this platform, because you might be doing some of these things. So let's take a look at this example here. Somebody is hiring a commercial illustrator. It looks like they want kind of a cute anime style here. Let's see what people put in the comments so I can show you what not to do. So this first one says, hey, I love the help sending a DM. Oh man, please don't do this. This is a bonehead, really unprofessional way of approaching anybody. Also, if somebody is posting, they don't want to get a flood of DMs. You need to let them DM you, not the other way around. That comes off obnoxious to clients. This person says, hey, I'm interested in your project. I think my style fits with what you're looking for. And here's my portfolio. So this is definitely not a good way that you should respond to a client. Oh boy, here's a doozy. This person says, hail and well met, traveler. I'm interested in helping out with the artwork you're looking to commission. Okay, yo, this person is not a D&D commissioner. They are just wanting some anime artwork. Just right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, this is really off-putting for somebody that is not an uber nerd. Now here's the over-exuberant person that says, oh my God, yes, here's my portfolio. Yeah, don't do this. Again, this is not professional. This is not somebody that you know. This is somebody that you're seeking to make a good impression on. On a similar note, here's the, I'm interested. Obviously you're interested. If you weren't interested, you wouldn't make the post. So why do you need to say that? You absolutely don't. Oh boy, and here comes the big mama jama atom bomb of bad things that you should do. Now you remember this person wants anime style artwork. So this person says, and starts off with not safe for work warning. Y'all, why are people still doing this? I see this all the time on every single art commission platform out there. Y'all, this person did not want lewd, dirty artwork, okay? They did not ask for that, so don't throw that up there, okay? Again, just assume that this person is like a youth pastor in a church and they're gonna go ahead and show all of this to their youth group. Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you do this to them? They didn't ask for it. It's just like if I want a cheeseburger, you're not going to convince me to get Indian food instead, because just like this artwork that you're posting about, it is too spicy for my palate. Again, similar example. If you have somebody that wants a big mega mech character and you're gonna post your furry artwork, that is not what the client wants. You should never be posting or giving links to anything that's not exactly what the client wants. That's crazy. So now this leads to this simple question of what should it look like if I'm going ahead and I'm dismissing all of these bad posts. Here's what it is. I found one, just one, that is really well structured and something that you should copy, and this is exactly how I have done it, and I would do it too. So here this person says, hello there, I'm interested in working with you. I have 4 years of experience in freelance, and I'm interested in your posts. And they go on to say what they have done and how they can be of service to them. Y'all, this is picture perfect. So first off on here is you should have a very brief introduction. So this should just basically say who you are, what you do. The next thing on here that I really like is talk a little about how you have done that type of artwork before. That's a really great, simple thing, and it should be very concise. And what's also the best practice for you to do, and I'm gonna talk to you about this really soon again, is that this person only supplied one link. That's all you need to do. Don't apply for any job and post 5, 6 different links. So this is exactly what it should look like when you apply for any type of job posting on Reddit. And by the way, if you ever see any type of posting that has a crap load of comments on it, don't even bother. What do I mean by that? If you apply for any job posting that has 20 or more posts, you are basically not going to get hired if you have any type of competitive rates, because at that point, that client is just going to shop through to see which one has the most acceptable quality at the best value price for them. And that should not be you. So now let's transition into how to advertise your creative services. What I'm about to show you and what I'm about to go through is how I, in a single weekend, can post and get all of my commission slots filled within 2 days. And that's pretty awesome. And I want to share my tips and tricks for how to do that for you too. Here we go. So I want to start off with the don'ts of things you do not want to do. So the first issue that I see a lot is being very unspecific in your job post. So let me go ahead and show you a few examples. So this person says, commissions open, I can draw whatever you need, character design, logo design, and even movie poster. Y'all, this is really overwhelming. If I'm a client, I know exactly what I want. I have an idea in my head of it. This does not tell me anything. Here's another person that's being way too unspecific. So, hey, I'm open for commission OCs, not safe for work, portraits, and fan arts. Y'all, no, don't do this. Is too much. This person is really just trying to flex that they can, or at least they think they can, do anything. Don't do this. People know what they want and don't want. If somebody wants a pet portrait, I guarantee you they don't need, nor do they want, any not safe for work style artwork. Here's another beauty. This person says commissions are open. For what? Again, put yourself in the seat of the client here. What am I going to get? I'm going to get a pencil portrait, but I don't really know as a client, like, what am I going to pay you for? And another really big thing that I see across all of the subreddits I see is that people will just say artist for hire and then in artwork, but it doesn't tell me what you're going to do. Now I can clearly figure this out from my experience that this person is doing some type of Dungeons and Dragons party on here, okay? And it's a really wonderful artwork. But as a client, I'm not really certain I would pick up on that right away. Make it easy, make it understandable for what the client wants, and you need to target your specific audience on this. Next, let's go ahead and examine some other bad practices for advertising yourself. So here are some common issues that I see really frequently in people posting. So here, let's take a look at this first person, which by the way has some really killer awesome looking artwork, illustrations and paintings, Dungeons & Dragons, characters, illustrations, gaming avatars. This is all within the same bubble. That's great. However though, one common practice that a lot of people do is that they try and just put way too much information in a comment explaining what exactly they can do. Essentially, what you should be doing rather than having this huge blurb in your comment is you should instead just make everything that you need necessary in the title of your post. It's a much more effective strategy. Here's another example that I want to go over, and this is a really great topic to talk to you about. So this person who has really nice artwork is for hire, they're professional illustrator, and they're open for commissions. But, man, they neglect to do one major thing. One of the best things about posting your artwork on Reddit is that you can actually upload up to 10 different art pieces. With this, they only posted one artwork. Like this person obviously, judging by their skill level, has a good amount of artwork that they've done. Don't just post one, post many, post a lot. On this example, and I've seen this one a lot too, this person says that they're open for art commissions. And by the way, here's my Instagram. Y'all, I cannot stress this enough. Do not encourage a client to get off of Reddit and to check you out on somewhere else. Don't do it. Like, they're not going to go through all the effort to think even if they're looking on a mobile, they're not going to swipe up, open up their Instagram, key in your Instagram ID, and then go. If you're going to do this, you should just have that link down below. Another really bad practice, and I'm just going to say globally, this is a terrible practice. Do not put your pricing into the post. Do not post a commission sheet either, like these examples right here, okay? So with these are lovely artworks, and I'm not knocking that part, but I am gonna knock on the fact that they went ahead and they posted the pricing of this. This is not a good practice for any artist anywhere, at any ability level, at any experience level, because what you're doing is you're forcing the client, instead of looking at your artwork, engaging, is this a good artist? Am I willing to pay for it? You're instead demeaning the entire process into just a shopping experience, and they're just gonna look at the price tag. Don't do this. Now let's show you how you should do this and what will definitely help you get more clients more often. When you're gonna go ahead and make your own post, here are my tips and tricks to increase the likelihood that you're gonna get hired. So first off on here, what I recommend that you do is you should put everything important into the title. By the way, make sure that title is very specific. What can you do for a client so that they know, oh, I need that. I need that Dungeons and Dragons character done. I need that landscape done. I need that sci-fi character done. So make them want to come to you just through the title alone. So let's take a look at some good examples of what other people have done that are really great. So here's a great example where this person is making a lot of fantasy-based characters. And although they did not upload multiple images, they're able to fit them all on the same picture. Here's another one with a similar one. Again, we're doing fantasy illustrations. These are beautiful, awesome illustrations, by the way. They're cropped a little bit, but it's enough so that if a client saw this, they would know, oh man, I've been dying to get this artist and this style artwork done for me. Same thing, they want to do some fantasy characters, and these are really high quality images, and there's enough of each character to show what this artist can do for them. Now here's an example of kind of merging these two concepts together that I recommend, and I see people do too, where this person actually has 4 pages of different artworks with different character designs. And again, this gives a really strong impression. The more examples that you can supply a client, the more confidence you're going to sell them that you are the right choice for it. Now, next, let's talk about how to close the sale, how to make sure that you are gonna get hired as much as possible. A lot of times when artists post their work, be it here or on any platform, somebody in those comments are gonna say, what are your commission rates? So they got asked, what are your commission rates? And this person handled it like a boss. They responded with, if you could please send over a description of what you're after, then I'll be able to send you my rates. This is an awesome response. The only thing I would say is that you should not do email, because again, they have to hop off of the Reddit platform, open up their email, copy and paste in your address, and those are 3 too many steps. Instead, I would just recommend that you have them DM you. Have them DM you, and then you can have a strong conversation about exactly what you can do for them, and you get a really strong scope of what exactly the project entails. Now, this is really contrary to how a lot of people operate, and I'm going to tell you that this is the more new age way of doing it that's more successful, because you want instantaneous conversation with clients. And if you want a really solid guide for how to do this, I made an entire video about how you should have a conversation-based professional evaluation of a client and their project, and I'm going to link it up here as well as down below. Now, finally, I want to give you some tips and tricks so that you will be as successful as possible. So, since you've lasted this long on this video, I want to give you this major piece of advice. You are always going to be more likely to get jobs, and especially if you're advertising your artwork, if you are posting on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Why? Because that is typically when people are perusing the internet at work, they're doing it at school, because they're prepping for their weekend, and they're typically kind of at the end of their attention cycle at work or school. Another thing I really want to caution you on is you need to watch out for the moderators of every single group, okay? So here's one thing that I need you to know about the moderators for each of these, is that they are power tripping trolls that have evolved into super online dictators. You need to pay attention to the rules of every single subreddit that you are applying into, because if you do not, then I can guarantee you, you're gonna get a nasty message, you're gonna get banned, or you're gonna get restricted as far as what you can do. You need to beware of the moderators. It's really dumb. Look, there are many more places that you can go, but I'm gonna tell you one of the big places that you don't wanna go are gonna be these places. And learn why they're not helping anyone. Instagram is the worst place to go to get commissions. Now, the first one, I wanna just drop this bomb on you because it's really important that you understand this. And this is gonna seem really contradictory if you've ever watched any other video on art commissions. Pretty much every single video on YouTube, on any other platform, is gonna tell you that you should be using Instagram for it. You no doubt probably have an Instagram. You probably post your art there. However, though, this is not the reason why people go to Instagram. The reason why people go on Instagram is just for mindless entertainment. It is just for cheap thrills. It's not to find artists. It's not to look for people to commission. Regardless though, you will always find people just like these right here looking for commissions on Instagram, looking to take commissions. But the issue is that it's not going to be there long. Basically, anything that you put out there on Instagram, it's only going to be there for a maximum of 24 to 48 hours. And you get a couple likes and that's all that people see about it. And then it's never heard from again. This then also brings people to start to use, yes, one of the worst practices in art commissions right now, which is the art commission sheet. So let me go ahead and just pull up the art commission sheet here. All right, so this is art commissions beef. That's interesting. Okay, wasn't expecting that. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Wow, the power of one typo, huh? So as you look through different people pushing out art commission sheets, we find the same common issues that I always cite with art commission sheet and reasons why you should never use these things. First and foremost is that no professional in the world actually utilizes these. They're only super amateurs that are horribly undercharging themselves. Issue number two with this is that they are just way too cheap. And again, just looking through all of these different versions that I'm pulling up here as I'm talking to you all about this, and again, no disrespect to the artists themselves, I respect their hustle, but this just is not a professional practice. These are not professional competitive wages. The number one dumbest thing about using Instagram for art commissions is that this is also followed up with the concept that you have to grow your following in order to get clients. Y'all, this is literally the dumbest, nonsensical advice you'll ever hear about art commissions, and here's why. Because this is literally not the way any other business in the world works. For example, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, was never told, hey, Jeff, you got to make 100,000 friends before you can sell a product. What? You just have a whole lot of people that just aren't really trying to be professionals. They're just trying to get a couple bucks for their artwork. And as I previously stated too on this note, then it's just not worth your time. The next platform that's also incredibly popular, and again, it's going to encourage people to go ahead and price themselves ultra cheap and disrespectfully low, is going to be the owner of Instagram, which is Facebook. Of course, people would think, oh, well, there's a lot of clients on Facebook. And yes, just as I look through all of these different groups, you can definitely see that there are a lot of interested people who are interested in either commissioning an artist or getting commissioned by a client. So you're probably on the right path here. However, though, here are some issues that make everything just fall apart for Facebook. Here's a very large group and there's 48.6 thousand members on this, okay? And you might be thinking, wow, that's great. There's gonna be so many people that are gonna see my post and I can definitely find some clients up on here. But here's the big issue. When you have that many people, it's going to create what's called a red ocean effect. And if you're not familiar with that, here's what it is. You're going to have 48.6 thousand people trying to all eat the same morsel of food. And this is going to create an ultra competitive environment that honestly is not really worthwhile for you to engage in. So here's one group where people just look for D&D artists. So I'm a part of this. I love to do it myself. Here we have somebody who 4 hours ago put up a post and you can see they have 204 comments. 204 comments. What do you think a client is going to do when they need to scroll through 204 comments? First off, they're not going to scroll through that many. Two things are going to happen. Number one is that they're going to be looking at the price first. And number two, they're going to compromise on quality for the price. So basically, if you're going to engage in commissions on Facebook, you can definitely bet that you're going to get lowballed for your offer for them. Here we have somebody who, again, 52 minutes ago got 61 comments. 5 hours ago, 138 comments. 54 minutes ago, 41 comments. 39 minutes ago, 23 comments. This basically forces you to use, again, an art commission sheet, which, as you know, I don't recommend. It's not a professional practice, and as I've shown you from the previous examples, most people don't even do it right. Another big issue I see come into play is that people have generally very unprofessional correspondence on here. So here we have somebody that's looking for artists for concept art. They have different kinds of concept art for a story that they're working on. Boom. The first comment here says, "Good afternoon. I saw your post and I'm interested." Why would you do this? You can't get somebody interested off of one singular artwork. It's just not how it works. This is really unprofessional communication. This sounds like you're just being very conversational with them. It doesn't sound like you're any type of artistic professional if you're gonna respond like this. And then below it, we have an even worse correspondence that says, "I'd love to hear more about your project. Prices are flexible and I have a variety of styles available." And again, one image. If you have a flexible style and you have a lot of images available, why wouldn't you post them? If you're going to post on Facebook, or for that matter, any art commissions platform, you should be posting multiple so that people get a full depth of understanding as far as what you're capable of producing. But hold up now, y'all. This is not only artists doing things wrong, but it's the clients too. Because then we have looking for an artist that can make a full body drawing, but just so you know, they only have Cash App and they only have $15.37. All right, buddy, here's what I want to tell you right now. If you've got $15.37, take a hike, all right? Because it's just disrespectful. In case you're not familiar with this anymore, in the United States, that's minimum wage. So not only do artists not appreciate themselves, but clients don't appreciate artists as well. This is creating thus a vicious cycle. It's a red ocean effect. It's too competitive, and it's definitely not where you should be going, my friends, for art commissions. There are much better platforms. Continuing my attack on really big websites for bad art commission places, we're gonna go to Fiverr now. Now, Fiverr you might be familiar with as it is marketed as a place for freelancers to go, and this is where businesses and clients can go ahead and put themselves out there as needing an artist, and or you can also go ahead and put yourself out there in your services. So on Fiverr, you're gonna find multiple categories for you to market yourself and or find work. The problem here on Fiverr is that this website is not set up in the best interest of artists. It's set up in the best interest of businesses. And businesses don't want to pay you good sums of money, hence the name Fiverr, $5 and less. So we're gonna see on here a whole lot, a plethora of artists undercharging themselves. Let's take a look at some examples. This first example I wanna show you is somebody who's marketing their watercolor art. And I just wanna say, I wanna give them a lot of props as they look through their entire portfolio that they have on this website. Their work is gorgeous. And it's $15? 15 bucks? Give me a break. $15, you gotta be charging a few hundred at the very least, y'all. Those people that can do traditional art at a very high level come at a much higher price point because it is a much more coveted and more niche community. So therefore they can charge a lot more. So here's a prime example of how Fiverr is set up for businesses, not for artists. So here we have somebody that's creating high quality game assets, and this would be used by indie developers and mobile games perhaps. So here they're only charging 25 bucks. But here's what I majorly want to challenge you on is that this is really good looking stuff. If they worked for a studio, they would be getting paid thousands of dollars for this. They're not getting paid $25 a piece. Why then would you charge yourself $25? And now here comes the worst mama jama, worst defiler of the art community, which is NFTs. My friends, you may look at this and say, oh God, that's awesome, 400 bucks, and that's only at the basic level. Man, I can get all the way up to premium. This person is going to horribly lowball an artist, and then they're going to make significantly more back on their investment. People are not buying NFT art for art, they're buying it as a stock and an investment. Don't get roped into this. This is a complete ripoff, and you lose all of your rights every single time you make an NFT. Now, all these examples support my claim as to why Fiverr is not a good platform for you. It's set up for businesses. It promotes really cheap art. And again, we have this red ocean effect where people are undercharging themselves. So definitely don't go to this platform, please. And the last one I want to introduce to you is artists and clients. In its title right there, it tells you what it's all about, right? It's a place where artists can go to find clients, or a place where clients can go to find artists. So it seems rather ingenious, right? However, though, hold that thought now. We got to really dive into this website, and initially right at the start, boom, you're gonna get punched in the face with a really obvious issue. The first thing that you see literally all the way at the top is, I'd like to see the discounted slots, and I'd like to offer my art at a discounted price. What does this tell you, my friends? This tells you that if you go here, that this website really heavily promotes people with really low pricing. Is that what you want? Do you want to make less than minimum wage? If that's the case, why do you need to get paid to do your artwork? You can, just so you know, my friends, you can make artwork for free. You can make it for yourself. You don't have to work with a client. You don't have to work with any guidelines. Let me show you a couple examples of some things that, again, I see on here that really support my claim that this is not a good website for artists to use. Let's first take a look at this person's artwork, who is charging $25, and they can complete that in about 3 days. That's a good timeline right there. This person must be doing it full time for the most part. So basically they have a very simplified style. It's quite attractive. Again, now we have a $15 piece happening right here. And as I just look through the rest of their work here, you know, they have pretty good work. I think that they could be charging significantly more, at least triple, or if not quadruple exactly what they're actually putting it out for. They have good reviews. It seems like they've been on this website for a long time. And now we have a $10 artwork as well. We're just going downhill from here, folks. Now, here's another really big issue is that I see artists significantly undercutting themselves. Here's a really professional level artist who does amazing work. Look at the details in this armor and the fur and the different materials. It's great. And then let's come over here. Whoa. Let's stop right there here. Anybody that can do magical effects like this deserves to be paid way more than just $35. Just to go ahead and really spell this out for you, it takes this person 15 days and $35 to do any of these artworks. Let's do that math out for a second. You're getting paid $2 a day for this? That's minimum wage back in like the 1800s, my friends. Like, that's crazy. Why would you charge yourself so low? They should value themselves enough to price themselves up higher, but it's also the website's fault, because I'm gonna guess this person felt so defeated that they couldn't get the pricing that they want, that they then felt like they had to lower themselves and lower their level and lower their expectations in order to try and attract clients, and that's wrong. So for all these reasons, my friend, artists and clients, though set up for an efficient process, is not great. And if that doesn't seal the deal, here's what does. Artists and clients acts as a middleman, and it takes a portion of your money every single time that you use them, because again, they act as the liaison between artists and clients. So therefore, you have to make a choice. Do you either upcharge your client that percentage, or do you take a cut of it yourself? Both of these are grossly unfair in my opinion. One of the newest platforms gaining a lot of popularity for no reason is Artistry. I'm gonna tell you why you need to get off this platform right now. Artistry is not worth your time. While you've seen other YouTubers sing the praises of this just because they're getting paid for it, the sad reality is it's just another failed art commissions platform that is losing you money. I'm gonna tell you the hard truth that nobody else will tell you about Artistry, which is that it's going to ruin your art commissions. Now, if you've never heard of Artistry, I can definitely see why you'd be attracted to it, because as we take a look at it here, it looks like something that you really want to be a part of. Look, you get to keep 100% of your profits, which is wrong, but it claims that. They also plant trees every single time you make art. Wow, hippies and druids of the world unite. And then Artistry also integrates various things that you might want to do, like invoices, like in-app messaging and such, so that it's basically an all-in-one platform. And then the idea here is that you're able to go ahead and start your art business and to complete your art business with what seems like stress-free selling. Is that true? We're gonna find out. So as you go down and you look at all of these raving reviews about how amazing it is, right? And you're looking at all these benefits, you might be like, well, Sean, what's your problem with it? Well, it's time for us to dissect this and tell you why it sits on a throne of lies. So one of the major reasons why somebody would want to use Artistry is most likely for the security, or at least the illusion of security, for you selling your art commission. So let's take a look at this nifty little graph that they made for us. So here you can see Artistry versus Ko-Fi and versus Ko-Fi Gold as well. And here's what it basically shows you is just that you get everything from Artistry. So this does look like a no-brainer from the surface, doesn't it? But then when we really start to take a look at it, here's what I want you to know is that Artistry has two different versions of it. First off is everything happening in platform. And the second version is if you only use it for invoice. What I really want to draw your attention to is this one right down here in the bottom right corner, that if you are only using Artistry for invoices, it doesn't protect you at all. This is definitely the number one reason why I would say somebody would be attracted to this, because they do advertise themselves as a platform that will prevent you from being frauded, scammed, and then therefore PayPal initiating a chargeback. However, though, that's a lie if you're going to only use it for an invoice. Why is this bad? I'm gonna tell you why. Anytime that you are communicating with somebody, that you are attracting somebody from another platform to go to another platform, that is usually not going to work out well for you. And that's another big sell. Like, not only do you have to sell your artwork, but now you have to sell them on why they have to use a particular platform, which, by the way, only benefits you and not them whatsoever. In my experience, after doing this for over a decade, that's a really hard sell and you have to do it twice. But then you might be asking yourself, well, Sean, I still want to use it. So is there any benefit to it? Well, let's take a look at that. Another really big staple of artistry tends to be this graph right here. And this essentially shows you what you can expect by using artistry versus other art platforms. So yeah, I use Fiverr, Ko-Fi, PayPal. They do take a cut of that. And here what they show you is that artistry, in fact, charges the client a fee rather than taking it out of you. But that's kind of a lie. Check out why. Down in their FAQs, it lets you know that, yeah, artistry does charge the client 6.5%. But here's the real kicker, and the real thing I want to focus you in on, is that, check this out, if the price is less than $100, you will also have that client charge an extra $2.60 USD. So you are now having to go ahead and convince the client to not only agree to your current pricing, which you want to charge them, but you also have to convince them to go ahead and pay more. And why? Just so that it benefits you? So now you're probably thinking, okay, well, Sean, no problem. All I have to do is charge at least $100, right? And that's definitely what they will make themselves out to appear like they want to encourage it. Because when you get down to their FAQ on setting prices, they tell you to charge a fair hourly rate. And they even tell you here that if you work for 10 hours, you should charge at least $10 an hour, and thus giving you about $100. But let's really take a critical look at this. Is this actually what's happening? Are artists actually getting fair and decent wages like they proclaim that they want to have happen? Now, one of the newest features of artistry is its marketplace. Sounds great, right? But let's see who that is attracting. So right here at the top of artistry, every single day, you're gonna see the most trending topics for art commissions people are searching for. Now look, that seems great, but let's take a hard look at why those ones are there and why they're the most popular. So the day that I happened to do this and record this video, they were anime commissions, bust commissions, flat color commissions, and illustrations. Let's check out what people are getting on here. I want you to go ahead and pay attention on these anime commissions to what is the median price? What are people generally charging here? There's a few outliers here and there, but like seriously take a look at this. Everything is generally somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 to $50. Now take a look at bust. Let's see if we see anything different here. Okay, so we have a general price tag starting at around $20. The more that we go down here, the more that we go down in price for the most part. Then we go to flat colors. Let's see if we do any better here. So we're starting at around $10, $20, $35, $45 around here. Now you might think, oh, big time illustrations, this must do wonderful, right? Well, let's check that here. But generally look at the actual prices. Look at what people are trying to get and trying to fetch for themselves here. So here is a major critical flaw for you to know about artistry is that it only attracts the cheapest of clients. And again, those cheap clients, what do you have to do? You have to charge them more money? Why? They're not going to want to pay more money. Why? Because this is the main reason they even use the freaking platform is because they want to get as cheap as possible because they know that they have to pay the fee, plus they have to pay an additional fee. So why wouldn't you instead just use PayPal or use Squarespace or use another similar platform where you could just, I don't know, add on $5 to $10? Wouldn't that be crazy? Instead of $70, charge $80. But guess what? That's what artistry wants to do for you. Only get you the cheapies. Now, if you appreciate action-based things that you can do starting right now after you watch this video, then definitely please consider liking and subscribing to my channel because I'm all about empowering you to live the life that you actually want to and earn what you actually deserve to. Wouldn't that be nice, right? But in the meantime, please enjoy me making Swiss cheese out of this awful art commissions platform. Another issue that I recognize with this website is that it's forcing artists to do things that don't work for anybody. Check this out. So here we're going to take a look at Kayenta, and I'm not going to rip apart anybody here to make them feel bad, but I just want to point this out so that you don't do this, whether it's on artistry or off artistry. But go ahead and let's take a look at what they're offering here. They're offering a portrait black and white for $5 to $30, portrait colored for $20 to $80, full body $60 to $120, and then full body black and white $30 to $100, and then illustration full page $80 to $120, character designs at $100 to $150. And then we go down to your 2D animations. Whoa, wait a minute here. That's not even in the same ballpark as your 2D artwork. The major issue that this type of platform and any type of platform that does this creates is that it really creates a lot of client confusion. They don't know what to expect from you. They don't know what you're able to produce, and you cannot put it on the client to guess and assume that you're going to be able to do exactly what you say you're going to do, because you are not producing the examples and you're not presenting in such a way that's going to instill confidence into them. And that is why somebody would buy from you versus somebody else's, because they see enough visual evidence to suggest that they have confidence in that person. But this platform, Artistry, they're not doing anybody any favors. Now, aside from those unfocused efforts, another critical flaw in this type of system is that you're basically going to detract people from wanting to pay what you actually want them to pay because of how you're setting your prices. Check this out. So when you go ahead and you set up your entire Artistry page, you're forced to go ahead and set some type of a range. Now, you do have to agree with this with the client on what that final price tag is. But what I typically see a lot of is people creating really, really large ranges. In doing this, you're actually handicapping yourself, and I'm going to explain to you why. So as I go through the fantasy section here, I come upon this person that can do a really cool Dungeon Dragon fantasy character and only charges starting at $30. But here's the problem. $30 to $100 is a very big gap. And this establishes what's called an anchoring effect, where if you see the lowest price tag, that's gonna be your anchor. And the bigger of a gap that you produce there, the less likely it is somebody is gonna pay it. Again, taking a look at all of these, let's go ahead and take a look at this person's right here, this lovely elf lady, and let's see what we got here. So when you take a look at the full body, look at this range here, y'all. 350 to 1,500? The person is clearly wanting $1,500 for that, but they're also putting this into a category that starts at $350. So even if your rock bottom price, even if this was the most stupidest, simplest character, right? And you wanted $1,000, well, if that person who's interested in this is only willing and able to charge $500, that's not in your ballpark, is it, my friend? But why? Because you gave them the anchor to latch onto. That's your fault. And then it gets worse too. So as I go for this full body concept art, check this out, 120 to 460. This is not the same type of client. Y'all just imagine this. If you were gonna go car shopping, would you in the same day look at a Toyota and then look at a Mercedes-Benz? No. So why would you expect your clients to be able to cough up that extra cash if that's not even in their ballpark? Why? Because you've created the anchor effect. You've created a reference point for them. And by doing that, you're actually losing yourself a ton of money. Now, if you're just new and getting started in art commissions, if you're trying to grow your art commissions, I'm gonna tell you this straight up, is that you cannot offer every single thing under the sun and expect yourself to be the Walmart of artists. And let me show you why Artistry encourages this and why nobody really ever does anything about it. So let's take a look at, first off, Tiago Santos. Let's take a look at what you're offering here. You're offering stylized characters, artistic characters, very cool. And then look at all your illustrations. And then you can also do game art too, right? So here's a big major problem with this though. If I'm a client and I'm looking at this, I have no idea what to expect from you, okay? Here, let's take a look at Galactic, who's offering headshots, who does Pokemon full bodies, who does half bodies of an Encanto-esque character, and then full-blown illustrations of sci-fi. These are not the same thing. You cannot ever get clients to just look at you and be like, oh, cool, they can do everything. That's not how people work. And then look at this. Then we get down to here, miscellaneous. Like, if that isn't just proof of everything I'm talking about right now, I don't know what is. Because what the crap is miscellaneous? Why would you even put that down? This is just gonna set you up for failure and burnout, my friend. Please don't do this. But we're not done yet though, too, because there are loads of other issues that I see prevalent in this site all the time. First off, I'm just gonna start with this. When they talk about extras, and this really sets me on fire because it's totally unfounded. So it says, Artistry does not use the commission's extras to calculate the price of a commission for you because that's something you have to agree upon with your client. And they also state that they're only allowed 6 extras. Now imagine this, y'all. Imagine that you were sitting across from somebody on a date and you were only allowed to ask them 6 questions before you went ahead and you committed to them for the rest of your life. Does that sound like a really great relationship to you? Because it doesn't to me. Now, all the issues that I pointed out here just relate to the fact that there are too many people that are going to flock to platforms like this, like Artistry, because I want to devolve the art commission process into just some simple robotic process. And y'all, hear me out on this one. because I've been mentoring people on this for years, but you cannot and you will not go very far in your art career if you don't want to interact with people. And once you start to interact with people, this is how you are going to succeed. Now, let's say that so far you're still 100% ride or die, like you 100% definitely want to stick with this platform, okay? So I want to give you some best practices that I would advise if you were to continue on this platform. Here we go. First off, you need to specialize. Just do one thing really, really well. So you just need to go ahead, just like I'm showing you right here, and check out this person. They only do fantasy art, and that's the way to do it. Number two is you definitely need to just throw away all of those junk cheap commissions that you're trying to get. Get out your line art, get out your flats, get out your sketches. Nobody wants them. And to be honest with you, here's the mindset I want you to adopt instead, friend. If it doesn't help your portfolio, if it's not gonna help net you more clients, especially higher paying clients, then just dump it, because it's not worth your time, because it's certainly not worth your wallet either. Next, make sure that you're breaking these down more. As I've gone through multiple sheets on the site, I just don't see anybody doing this well. So like, for example, what I would do is I would make sure that I do a bust, and then a separate one, bust with a background. Half body with a background. Character with the background. It will make it so much easier for you. The other version of this that you could do is instead just give yourself a much smaller gap in your pricing, okay? So just don't do more than $100. It just doesn't make sense. If you have to charge somewhere in the neighborhood of like $500 to $1,000, break that down. Just keep them separate, okay? The other thing I would recommend is if you feel the need to detail every single little extra, y'all, you can't do that. So the best thing that you should do instead is just max everything out at your top level pricing for it. Like for example, if your pricing was before somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to $300, start at $200, and then it's all taken care of. And no matter what, if you got a semi-complex character, you're good. If you got a really complex character, then there's a reasonable room for negotiation in there. See how that works? And then lastly, you have to just pick with one style. Like for example, if you do semi-realism, just do that. Get rid of your anime, get rid of anything that does not relate to that. If you only do really stylized artwork, get rid of your realism artwork, get rid of your realistic portrait, get rid of your pet portraits. If it doesn't show that style, it doesn't attract the right client. What you want to do is provide one major thing for a client whenever you're going to use this site, or if you want to use the tactics that I teach you, plenty of links down below on how this works, by the way, and it's much better, by the way, then you just want to instill confidence in them. The way you instill confidence in them is by showing them the type of work that they want, by showing them the genre, and by showing them the style that they're looking for. Those three things, that's all they want. And that is why they're going to pick you over somebody else, not you just appearing desperate. See how that works? Now, if you apply everything you learned in this video, you are going to soar leagues above everybody else that doesn't. And if you need to know what you actually need in order to get started on that, go ahead and check out this video series right here.